So we are starting with chapter 5. Name of the chapter is Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So it is like a continuation of the previous chapter. There are a few things we will see in the beginning that Arjuna has a doubt and he will talk about sannyasa. So there are a lot of shlokas, we look at it very deeply. This is also a very important chapter. So as we go through the shlokas, we will see the meanings in depth. I think that much of introduction is enough because the chapter itself is quite self-explanatory. So first we start with the, as I said, Arjuna has a question and I will just explain after I read the shloka, I will explain that question. Arjuna vacha sannyasaṁ karmaṇaṁ Krishna punaryogaṁ shamsasi yachreyaye tayorekam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. First, let me give the meanings and then we will go into the explanation. So, Arjuna vacha. Arjuna said, Sannyasam karmanam Krishna. Sannyasam. So, you talked about renunciation. Karmana. So, you also talked about, basically you talked about the renunciation of actions. And then, Punar Yogam cha Shamsasi. So, Punaha. Again, you also talked about the Karma Yoga. Yogam meaning Karma Yoga. Shamsasi. So you praise this, you praise Karma Yoga. You also talked about the renunciation of the actions and you praise that also. Shamsasi. So you praise that Yat Shreyaha. So which Yat is which Shreyaha more beneficial. What is more beneficial? Yetayoho of the two. Of the two, which is more beneficial? Ekam tat me bruhi sunishchitam. Ekam. So one. Tell me one. Me means into me. Bruhi. Tell me sunishchitam. Tell me conclusively. Of the two, which is beneficial for me. So what is Arjuna's question? Arjuna said, Oh Shri Krishna, you praise the path of renunciation of actions and you also advise to do the Karma Yoga. Please tell me decisively which of the two is more beneficial. Arjuna has this doubt. First, we have to understand the question before we proceed towards the answer. So what is Arjuna's question exactly? We have to go and understand some terms here. So sannyasa. Sannyasa meaning the as. It is derived from the root as. Asyati, which means to throw away. So this as is to throw away. And ni. Ni means decisively. Nyasaha. Nyasaha itself means to decisively throw away. And then some is added to nyasaha. So it becomes sanyasaha. Some means totally. Meaning of the whole world is totally and decisively leaving. That is sannyasa. Saw in the chapter 3 also, you have to leave with your mind also. Not just physically leaving the objects, but you have to leave the objects in the mental plane also. So we know that there are 4 ashramas. That is, there are 4 lifestyles that has been talked about. The first is the brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means being a bachelor, not married at that point. So they devote themselves to the study. And then the next stage can either become grihastha where you take up the householder lifestyle, you marry, have kids, etc. Or from brahmacharya, this lifestyle, you can go to the sannyasa lifestyle, which is the renunciation. So some people like Adi Shankaracharya, all the great saints, they would have gone from brahmacharya directly to sannyasa. But there are also other people who have taken the other path. So they will be brahmacharis and then from there they will go into the householder lifestyle, which is the grihastha ashrama. And from there they will slowly leave everything, which is the intermittent phase is the vanaprastha ashrama. And then from there they will go to sannyasa. So there are various routes, or from grihastha ashrama also they can directly go to sannyasa if they have the qualification, meaning if they have the vairagya or they have the self-control, those qualities if they have, and if they have disdain on all these material things, then they can directly go from the grihastha ashrama to the sannyasa. So what is the question here? Arjuna has understood when Krishna talked about the renunciation of action, we said that he talked about the 2 kinds of the sannyasi, the The jnani who was in two lifestyles. There was one jnani he talked about in the pravritti marga. In the householder lifestyle itself, he became a jnani. We saw some slokas, shloka number 20 onwards in chapter number 4. And then we also talked about the person in the nivritti marga, where he took the sannyasa, but he was a jnani, a sannyasi who was a jnani. So the confusion happens when people confuse the lifestyles with actual realization, with the jnana itself. Grihastha they can get jnana, they can get moksha. Not all sannyasis are self-realized. So this is just the lifestyle. So what Arjuna understood from when Krishna talked about the renunciation of the activities, he thought that Krishna is talking about the sannyasi. There are two types of sannyasis. As I said, one will be realized, one will not be realized. So we are going to little bit examine in detail in order to understand this question itself. So two types of sannyasis are there. I said one who got the jnana. He is in the grihastha ashrama, he is in the householder lifestyle, and then he got the jnana. So this kind of sannyasi is known as the vidvat sannyasi, or he got the vidvat sannyasa. Because he got the jnana, he went into sannyasa. And the other type of sannyasi is he got the vairagya, he got the self-control, and he is able to know the goal of life, and he has got this full control. So because of the vairagya, what he wants to do is leave this householder lifestyle and then go into sannyasa, where he will practice more. He will develop more of vairagya, he will purify his mind, get the jnana, and then proceed towards moksha. So there are two types of sannyasis. So one is the realized sannyasi, who is known as, he's taken the vidvat sannyasa, and the other we say he's taken the vividisha sannyasa. So the vividisha sannyasa is the one because he got the vairagya, he got the self-control to leave this world, this material world, he took the sannyasa. So these two are there. So what did I say? Vidvat sannyasa is because of jnana. Vividisha sannyasa, he's still in ajnana. He's still not got the jnana. So that is the differentiation. Suppose you say, okay, he got the jnana, then why now he needs to get the sannyasa? Like people will say, right? Okay, you are a householder, you got the jnana. But then why you need sannyasa? You can be a householder and just proceed in that direction. So for that, the answer is, he wants to be established. Even though he got the jnana, he needs to be established in the jnana. So jnana nishta it is called. So to be established and to focus in the jnana, he takes a sannyasa. Because as we know in the householder thing, lot of distractions are there. That is one reason. And also sometimes the opportunity itself will come, like the prarabdha. His prarabdha will be that he will take sannyasa. So that itself will prompt, and he will take the sannyasa and he will go. So example of this is Yajnavalkar. In the Brihadaranya Upanishad, Yajnavalkar was a householder. He takes the sannyasa and he goes. And he has two wives. He says, I'm taking sannyasa. So this wife says, okay, then give me all the wealth that you have. So he says, okay, I will divide this wealth between you, the two of you. Then the other wife says, will this wealth give me any happiness? He says, no, it will not give you. Then she says, okay, I will follow you. And she also comes in this path. So like that, this kind of a person is Vidvat Sannyasi. He already attained jnana, but he wants to go and be in the jnana nishta and practice it. So he takes a sannyasa. What about the Vividisha sannyasa? Person who is a householder, he takes the sannyasa in order to get the jnana. Can be a brahmachari also. He goes to get, because he is not a jnani yet. And sometimes he also goes because maybe he doesn't have full vairagya. If he doesn't have full vairagya, he has to go and develop the vairagya more when he is a sannyasi. And then he'll get more purity of the mind. When he gets a purity, he will get the jnana and he will get the moksha. So these are the reasons. So for Vidvat Sannyasa, it is known as the Jnana Phalam. Because he got the Jnana, the Sannyasa has come as a result of the Jnana he got. Vividisha Sannyasa, this is the Sadhana Rupam, or it becomes an instrument. The Sannyasa becomes an instrument for him to get the Jnana. So there is a difference. Vidvat Sannyasa, it is a result of Jnana. For Vividisha sannyasa, this is an instrument. And also Vidvat sannyasi, when he gets a jnana and he goes to get a sannyasi, he can leave all the karma. There is no prescribed karma for him. But if it is a Vividisha sannyasi, he will have certain karmas. Sannyasa ashrama, they will stipulate some things. You have to have bath certain times. You have to eat only this many times, like that. All that he has to abide by. But this Vidvat sannyasi need not abide by all those things. So this is the difference. So now why did we come into all these things? Because Arjuna thinks that by talking about renunciation, Krishna has included both Vividisha and Vidvat sannyasi. But Krishna in chapter 4 did not include the one who has not attained self-realization. He only included the person, the Vidvat sannyasi, in his Jnana Karma Sannyasa chapter. So because of this doubt has come, asking Krishna, okay, is sannyasa better or is karma yoga better? But Krishna didn't include the person who is not self-realized, because karma yoga, all those things doesn't apply to the self-realized person. So basically the comparison is the Ajnani in the karma yoga path, the householder in the karma yoga path, and the Ajnani in the sannyasa path. Which is better? That is the question. So for which Krishna is going to answer, and it is very subtle. So the question itself has been ascertained by Adi Shankaracharya that this is the question. He is talking about the comparison between the one in the Grihastha Ashrama doing the Karma Yoga and the one who has taken the Vividisha Sannyasa. So this is the question that Arjuna is asking. Shloka number 2. Shri Bhagavan Sannyasah karma yogascha nishreyasa karavubhu tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo vishishyate. So Shri Bhagavan Vacha. So Krishna starts to speak. Sannyasah karma yogascha. Sannyasah is renunciation. Karma yogascha. So karma yoga and nishreya karo. So both of them are leading to the ultimate, or it is leading to the supreme goal, he is saying. So in the first line, he doesn't give an answer. He says both are equally beneficial, both are equally good. Tayoho, now he gives the answer in the second line. Tayoho, of the two, but karma sannyasat. Karma sannyasat is the renunciation of the actions. The karma sannyasa, leaving the actions and taking the sannyasa, karma sannyasa, karma yoga vishishyate. Karma yoga is better. This is Krishna's answer. General translation is, the Supreme Lord said, both the path of karma sannyasa, renunciation of actions, and karma yoga lead to the supreme goal. But karma yoga is superior to karma sannyasa. So here he says, he gives a direct answer. There he says, karma yoga is superior to the sannyasa, karma sannyasa. As we said, this is a sannyasa taken by an ajnani. And also an ajnani without full vairagya. Again in karma sannyasa, when the people have taken, like we saw in Vividisha sannyasa, we can again divide into two. People who have complete vairagya, like Adi Shankaracharya, Buddha and all, they had complete vairagya and they took the sannyasa. They took sannyasa and then they got the jnana, but they had complete vairagya. But there are people who have only partial vairagya and they take sannyasa. So we are referring only to this category of people who have partial. So if you have partial vairagya, should I stay in the householder path or should I take sannyasa? That is actually the question. Krishna says that you should stay in the householder only. You should do karma yoga. Necessarily householder, but you should do karma yoga only. Karma yoga is better than taking the sannyasa for these kind of people. So what are the justification? We will see that. So the vairagyam actually becomes the palan of the karma yoga, and this becomes the basis of sannyasa. So if a person has not done karma yoga fully, he will not be eligible for sannyasa, because what we saw, if such a person without vairagya takes a sannyasa and he will think about the worldly things, then he will become a mithyachari. We saw that, right? He will be just sitting and meditating, but his mind will be in things of the world. So that we do not want. Therefore, the Vairagyam must be obtained by doing the Karma Yoga. And Vairagyam is necessary for the sannyasi. So that is why we need to do the Karma Yoga. And then when we are in Karma Yoga, what we can do is we have allowance, we can slack, no problem. Even if we do other things, we are not going to be punished. But a sannyasi can never slack. So unless you have that full, you have earned that discipline, if you become a sannyasi and you slack, you will suffer more. So that is why Karma Yoga is better also. And then another point is based on the general mass. He is keeping Arjuna in the front, just keeping Arjuna as a figure, and he says general population needs Karma Yoga only. Arjuna, I'm keeping you as an example, but general population need Karma Yoga to purify that mind, and then they need to then later think about the other options. So 3 points why we said Karma Yoga is superior, because Karma Yoga, the phalan of the Karma Yoga, result of the Karma Yoga will be Vairagya. And this is what is needed to become a sannyasi. So because of that reason. And you cannot slack in become a sannyasi, but you can slack if you are a householder. If you are following Karma Yoga, there is allowance. If you are a sannyasi, if you slack, you will be called a mithyachari. And then the third was general public. Generally, there are exceptions, but general people, they need Karma Yoga only. They need to purify their mind and then only later think about the sannyasa. So these are the 3 reasons why Krishna says that Karma Yoga is superior to Karma Sannyasa. So it is said that whenever like somebody will come and ask some guru, should I take sannyasa? That means the guru knows that no, don't take sannyasa, because if the question itself comes, should I take or not, then the guru knows that he is not having the full vairagya. So it is better to take the sannyasa only when you have the full vairagya. Shloka number 3. Nyeyasya nitya sannyasi yo na dveshti na kankshati nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. So here in previous shloka he said Karma Yoga is better. So why is Karma Yoga better? He is elaborating more. So the qualities of the Karma Yogi are given here again. Neyasya nitya sannyasi. Neyaha, he should be considered or no. Saha, that person, nitya sannyasi. So that person, nitya means always, sannyasi. He is always a sannyasi. Which person is always a sannyasi? Yaha, the person, na dveshti na kankshati. Na, never dveshti. He doesn't hate anything. Nor na kankshati. He doesn't desire anything. He never hates anything or he doesn't desire anything. So that is what is the Karma Yoga, right? And Nirdvandaha, he is free from the dualities of heat and cold, pain and pleasure, happiness and sorrow. So all these qualities he has crossed. We saw in chapter 2. So Nirdvandaha, he Mahabaho, certainly Mahabaho, O mighty armed Arjuna. Sukham bandhat. Sukham means he easily bandhat, from bondage, pramuchyate. He is liberated. So why this Karma Yogi is so superior? Because he has done the samatvam. Samatvam means he has gone beyond the dualities. And because he has gone beyond the dualities, there is no bondage for this person. So the key points here are na dveshti na kankshati and nirdvandaha, free from dualities, and he never hates. This raga dvesha is not there in him. So because the raga and dvesha are not there in him, he quickly gets the purity of the mind. Because of the raga and dvesha, more thoughts are generated and more things are being recorded again and again. If you think that, okay, this is also fine, that is also fine, then the mind does not attach itself to anything or any particular event. So because of that, the mind can be calm and peaceful, and this purity and the peace of mind is needed for the jnana. So that is why so much of emphasis is being given here. for the samatva. So purity and peace of mind is obtained because of the samatva. This is what is explained in the shloka. Then he was going to tell in shloka number 4 and 5. He is going to say that the karma yoga and the sannyasa will give the same results. So we will say what that shloka is. Shloka number 4. Sankhya yoga pratak balaha pravadanti na panditaha ekamapyastitas samyak ubhayor vindate phalam. Okay, so here he says Sankhya yoga pratak balaha. Sankhya means, here for now we will take it as a renunciation of actions. Take it as the same as the sannyasa. So Sankhya is the renunciation of the actions. Yoga means karma yoga. Pratak means different. Balaha, the ignorant or the ignorant people. Balaha. Pravadanti na panditaha. Pravadanti. So you balaha pravadanti. They say, the young ignorant people are saying na panditaha, but na never panditaha. The learned do not say that the Sankhya and the Karma Yoga or the renunciation of actions and the Karma Yoga will give different results. Pandits don't say, but the ignorant people think like that. Ekamapi, even one, astitaha, being situated samyak, completely, then ubayoho means of both. Vindate phalam, vindate, you will achieve the result. So what does he say here? The general translation is, only the ignorant speak of Sankhya, the renunciation of actions, or karma sannyasa. You can take it as karma sannyasa here, and karma yoga, which is the equanimity in work, as different. Those who are truly learned say that by applying ourselves to any of these paths completely, we can receive the results of both. So the question now comes is Sankhya. Sankhya actually doesn't mean karma sannyasa, but interpretation is, in the opinion of the Lord, sannyasa and karma yoga are themselves turned as Sankhya and yoga. Here Krishna has introduced one more terminology. Before that, we use the term karma sannyasa or sannyasa. Now he put Sankhya. Sankhya we know is knowledge, right? From chapter number 2, we know that it is knowledge. But why Krishna introduced this other word? So the interpretation is, in the opinion of the Lord, sannyasa and karma yoga are themselves termed as Sankhya and yoga. You will add jnana to sannyasa, and when you add equanimity to karma yoga, Sankhya becomes the same as the karma sannyasa when jnana is added to sannyasa, and this karma yoga is the same as yoga when equanimity is added. So there is no irrelevance here. That is what the commentator says. So that is why that word is introduced, because they are the same. Because this person who is a sannyasi is pursuing the path of knowledge. So the Sankhya word is relevant there. Then the question comes, if the sadhaka, that means a pursuant, is different. One is a householder, having a family, having children. One you say is a sannyasi, he is wearing orange robes, he is doing all kinds of different things. And the sadhana means the practices are different. Here we are cooking, we are doing other things, normal things. There he is sitting and meditating. Everything is different. The sadhaka is different. The person who is practicing, it seems that they are in two different worlds. Also, the practices are so different. So how come they both will give the same result? So that is the question, right? So again, the answer is no. Krishna says no. Both will give the same results because both need to get the purity of mind. Once the purity of mind is obtained, wherever you are, whatever you do, then you will get the jnana, and then you will get the jnana nishta, and then you will proceed in the path of liberation. So both actually have to do the same thing, which is to get the purity of the mind. That is why he says that both will give you the same result. Don't worry. The ashrama doesn't matter. In the 3rd chapter also we saw the lifestyles don't matter in the path of liberation. Only the practices matter. What were the practices? You have to do karma yoga properly. When you do karma yoga properly, then you proceed to jnana yoga, you will get it. In whichever lifestyle you are, it doesn't matter. So that was the meaning of the shloka. So he says that ignorant people think that these two things will give the divergent results. But the Panditaha, the people who are wise, who know the truth, they know that these both will give the same result. Wherever you are, it will give the same result. So that is why, Arjuna, and for you, Karma Yoga is better. For the general public, Karma Yoga is better. Do Karma Yoga properly. And Samyak, so that word is used here. Samyak means completely. That is the most important word here. You have to do it properly. Karma Yoga meaning not half and half. You have to do Karma Yoga properly, then you will get the result of even the person who has taken the path of sannyasa. So shloka number 5 is actually also a continuation of this. Yat sankyaif prapyate sthanam tat yogairapi gamyate ekam sankyancha yogancha yaf pashyati sa pashyati. So he says here, yat sankyaihi. So yat what? Sankyaihi, we are actually taking the meaning of karma sannyasa only for actually 4 and 5. But I explained why that word Sankhya was used there. So whatever karma sannyasa prapyate is attained, sthanam, whatever place, sthanam is the place, whatever place the person comes to by means of karma sannyasa, tat yogaihi, that yogaihi, so the person who is doing karma yoga, api also gamyate, so he also attains. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha. Ekam, one, sankyam, the renunciation of the actions is sankyam. Ekam sankyam cha and yogam cha. So he's talking about the renunciation of action, and he is also talking about the yoga, which is the karma yoga cha, and yaha pashyati sa pashyati. So yaha, who, pashyati means who sees, saha pashyati, that person sees. That means what? The truth is apparent to him. The one who sees actually sees, meaning the truth is very apparent to him. Of what? The state that the sannyasi can attain can also be attained by a karma yogi. So this person who knows this truth really knows the truth. So the supreme state that is attained by means of karma sannyasa is also attained by working in karma yoga. Hence, those who see karma sannyasa and karma yoga to be identical truly see things as they are. So we have to equate both as being the same. So people say that there are many paths. Various paths are for what? Getting to the purity of mind. So the purity of mind is the main focus. That's where foundation is. So that is what is our aim in karma yoga and even in sannyasa. So that is what has to be followed by us, knowing that the purity of mind is more important than anything else. Then we will go to shloka number 6. Sanyasastu mahabhaho dukkhamaptumayogataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena adhigacchati. So here he says, he talks about the difficulty in the path of sannyasa. So he says here, sannyasa, that means renunciation to, but mahabhaho, O mighty armed Arjuna, dukkhamaptum ayogataha. Dukkham meaning here, it is difficult. That is the usage here. It is difficult. The dukkham aptum attains ayogataha. Without karma yoga, this renunciation, sannyasa is very difficult. Yoga yuktaha. So one who is in karma yoga, one who is following karma yoga, munihi, because he is called a sage. Brahma nachirena adhigacchati. So what happens? This person who is in karma yoga, this sage, he nachirena means quickly, adhigacchati. He goes very quickly to the Brahman. So he's saying that karma yoga is the best in this situation. It should not be confused that karma yoga is the best in all situations. For an ajnani, what is best? Who has got half vairagya or 3/4 of vairagya or no vairagya at all, karma yoga is the best. That is what he is saying here. So he says here sannyasa is difficult. Because why is sannyasa very difficult? People generally think, why I am not able to go in this path? is because I have a family, I have all these things. That is why I am not able to go in the path, because I need time, I need my space. Otherwise, sannyasa I can totally focus. But what they say is that is not true at all. If your mind is not peaceful and quiet, in sannyasa also you cannot be peaceful. The problem happens when if you're given too much of time, becomes a problem for people. When people retire, they don't know how to utilize that time. They are not utilizing the time in the correct way. So don't think that just by going and sitting under a tree, you will get the moksha. You cannot. You have to do all this preparation. And actually in karma yoga, in householder only, there is like chance for you. People will give you feedback and then you will correct yourself. And all those possibilities are there in the householder lifestyle. Sannyasi has lot of restrictions. Also, there is no opportunity for him to correct himself. He will correct himself if he is in the right path. But he says that for general public, have lot of opportunities. So don't think that if you have the time and the space, you are going to get to moksha. That is totally not true. Sannyasa has been talked about as very superior in our shastras. But unless and until you have the qualifications, that is the main point here. If you have the qualification, by all means go to sannyasa. But without the qualifications, don't go to sannyasa. So, and also the other qualification is karma and jnana. It has been said in our shastras that karma and jnana will take you in two different directions. That has been said. But again, the clarification is we are not talking about karma here, we are talking about karma yoga. So karma yoga is doing the work, not being attached to the results, and doing the things with the arpana buddhi and prasada buddhi. Like that, if you get the equanimity of the mind, that is what is being taught when you are doing the actions. So what did we say? That perfect renunciation, karma sannyasa, is difficult to attain without performing work in karma yoga. O mighty armed Arjuna, the sage who is adept in karma yoga quickly attains the supreme. That is the general translation. So that is shloka number 6. Shloka number 7. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. Here he is talking about the steps from karma yoga to moksha. Yoga yuktaha. So one who is doing this karma yoga, he is going to have the samatva buddhi, the equanimity. When he is doing the karma yoga, he is going to have this prasada buddhi. That is how he gets to the equanimity. And karma pala nirapeksha buddhi he has. That means, what does it mean? He has no interest in the fruits of the actions. So the yoga yuktaha is the karma yogi. What are the three qualities they are telling about him? He has got the samatva buddhi, equanimity, and he has this prasada buddhi. All the actions and everything that's happening in his life, he is just merging it with God. Like he thinks of it as a gift from God. So he has this prasada buddhi. And then karma pala nirapeksha buddhi. That means he has no interest in the results. So this is what we saw in chapter 2 in Karma Yoga. Vishuddhatma. Vishuddhatma means his intellect is pure. Vijitatma. Vijitatma means he has conquered his body and mind. Vishuddhatma. He has a purified intellect and he has conquered his body and mind. Jitendriyaha. He has conquered his senses also. See, these are the qualities. Then what happens? Sarva bhutatma bhutatma. That means he realizes that he is the same as all the other living beings in the world. He doesn't think like that. He realizes that I am the same as the other person. He sees the soul of all the souls in every living being. I am the same as this person. Like that, sarva bhutatma bhutatma. Like that he realizes. And then kurvan apina lipyate. So performing all actions also, he is never entangled. So what are the meanings we saw? Yoga yuktaha. So the one performing karma yoga. Vishuddhatma, one with a purified intellect. Vijitatma, he has conquered his mind and body. Jitendriyaha, he has conquered his senses. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma, one who sees the soul of all souls in every living being. That means all the souls are the same. Like that he realizes. He just doesn't think or imagine. He realizes that. And then Kurvan api na lipyate. Kurvan, performing api, although na never lipyate. He never gets entangled. So the karma yogis who are of purified intellect and who control the mind and senses see the soul of all souls in every living being. Though performing all kinds of actions, they are never entangled. So this is the meaning of the shloka.